Perfect. Fly Pelican, fly Pelican, fly Pelican. And I tell them that. Birds of a feather flock together. Fly die, I'm a Pelican forever. Pelican forever. Ain't gon' lie, I feel flyer than I ever been. We stay ballin', this New Orleans, I'm a Pelican. It's going down in the nest, wild, wild west. Come in town and you best show us some respect. 3-point threat, I better make it rain. If it's up, then don't jump stupid like your ankle sprain. Always said, never hate the player, hate the game. Jumper where the dame late, punch a train. Post game, big Q, talking about business. Bird gang, YouTube, they ain't flocking with us. Lock up the division mission, get into the finals. Finish competition, then it's going win the title. I know this flyer than you can get. Such a threat that the refs just might call a tag. You could double, you could press, but you can't check. Right, left, slide by you like a Eurostag. Fly Pelican, fly Pelican, fly Pelican. And I tell them that birds of a feather flock together. Fly die, I'm a Pelican forever. Pelican forever. And never, and never, and never, and never, and never, and never say birds of a feather flock together. Yeah, fly die, I'm a Pelican forever. Pelican forever.
I'm sure we will go back on the tape and see that there's things that we can do better, but that's just what it is. Credit to the Suns. They won on their home floor.
Yeah, I mean, you guys started doubling down a little bit in the second half. Just, did you think that was any better when you guys went to that?
I have to go back and look at them. I'm not sure.
I mean, you guys throw a lot of things at him, too. When he gets like that, can you put towards how tough it is to stop that?
Yeah, great players. They get into a rhythm, they get it going, and you have to up your level of physicality, up your level of rotations, show them different coverages. And I just didn't think we did it aggressive enough to make an impact on him. And a lot of it also is Booker. So I don't want to take anything away from him. It's both. It's him making shots and it's us not being more aggressive.
There was a sequence late in the fourth quarter where you guys forced them to miss twice. Kobe got the offensive rebound, goes to the line. Was that one that stood out in your mind that was important, deciding the result of the game?
Second chance points were definitely big for them. They had 17. We had 5. So, yes.
Is it just frustrating that, talking about the offensive rebounding a lot, it's just something that keeps coming up?
I think what's more frustrating for me is that we are top 10 in the NBA in free throw attempts, and we're top 5 in the NBA in points in the paint. And one of their guys shoot more than our whole team. That's frustrating.
How tough is it to overcome that discrepancy?
It's extremely tough. It's extremely tough. So we'll go back, we'll watch the tape, but we get to the paint, we get to the free throw line. That's something that we do well. And for whatever reason tonight, didn't go our way.
It's the paint. I mean, pretty much as anybody in the NBA. I mean, do you think there are times you get penalized for just being stronger than other people?
Most definitely. But it hadn't been that way previous games, but tonight it was. So there's a lot of things that we can do better. There's a lot of things that I can do better. And we'll go back to the drawing board and continue to try to build. But tonight was a tough one. All right.
For all things Pelicans, you're now tuned in to the Pelican Post Game Report. Much love to the flock. Appreciate y'all joining us for this episode of the Pelican Post Game Report. We in this thing. Pelicans go down, man. Pelicans blow 24-point lead as Booker explodes for 58, and Suns 118-114 win over the Pelicans. Pelicans now 0-3 on this current road trip. They fall to 18-11. They're 6-8 on the road prior to the road trip. I was saying, can we duplicate some of the success as a home team? Now, in this one, what's really ridiculous about this game was the disparity in free throw attempts. It was glaring. It was most certainly corrupt level, how the Pelicans toiled in the paint for the majority of the game. It didn't come away, but only it just 13 attempts, and the Phoenix Suns were allowed to have 35 attempts at the charity stripe. That was ridiculous, man. That's absolutely ridiculous. Now, with that being said, this is probably one of the worst officiated games I've seen, and I'm saying it consistently game after game because the referees are used to steer these games, and we're saying that it's incompetence. A bit of it could be incompetence, a bit of it could be corruption, a bit of it could be just they stupid. They're just stupid and corrupt. I think it's a combination of both. I think the NBA didn't want the Pelicans to win the season series against Phoenix because, you know, I just felt like that was the field in this game. You don't give another team 35 attempts at the foul line and the other team 13 attempts, and the Pelicans toil in the paint. So I disrespect those bastards on that front. But outside that, from the opposite perspective, the Pelicans had a 24-point lead in this matchup, and it allowed it to go away. Now, like Willie said in the post-game interview you just heard, the Pelicans did have opportunities to close out this team just like they did against Utah in the previous matchup. The defense in this matchup wasn't as good, and I've said that for the last 3 road games, that the Pelicans are not the same team on the road that they are at home. It's obvious. It's very glaring. We don't see people have these walk-up layups and guys get the offensive rebounds to keep getting opportunities to get things going. We have to stiffen. We got to harden up on the road. If we're going to have any real success going further into the season, we've got to play better on the road. And a team as good as the Pelicans, who are 18-11, it is very concerning that their road record is 6-8, that they have a losing road record. You know, that just shows me that we need some more work here, because we have to be able to play defense that translate from home to away. You know, despite the referees, we're not going to get all of these calls every night. We know that, but at least we can control what we do on the floor and lessen these teams. Giving up 118 points to Phoenix, and I know Booker exploded for 58 points and scored more points in that building than anybody ever did. But we also allow other people to get going while Booker was going. And if Booker was going by itself, you know, the Pelicans could have still beat them because they only won by 4. But when we give up the offensive rebounds, when we don't play the good defense and guys are having walk-up layups and stuff like that, then you're going to struggle. And Phoenix just kept him on the floor, and he did everything he was supposed to do to keep his team going. You kind of felt the momentum of the game slip away. The Pelicans disappeared in the second half of this game. One decent stand in either one of the third or the fourth quarter, and the Pelican walk away with the victory. They lost both quarters in the second half and ultimately the game. You got to play 60 minutes full. Pelicans did not do that. Let's get into some of these team statistics in the matchup. Shout out to the fam. Please feel free to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and share the show on your social media feed. Tonight, we won't be opening up the lines of communication. We had a scheduled snafu. DC wasn't able to attend here, and then my schedule kind of got bunched up. So we're going to try to do something, family, for the guys for next week. Maybe we'll kind of retouch on this matchup. Really, I don't really want retouch on it. We got Phoenix coming up. I mean, not Phoenix. We have Milwaukee coming up, and they just beat the Utah Jazz. They beat the Jazz without Giannis, without Middleton, and they put up Drew Holiday. Drew Holiday put up some numbers for them in the matchup, but at the end of the day, the Bucks was able to take care of the Jazz without Giannis, without Middleton. So anyway, they'll be coming into the Smoothie King Center on Monday night. But before we even get to that, let's finish up on this. 45 of 77 The Pelicans shot for 58.4% from the field. The Jazz were 39 of 83 for 47%. The Pelicans were 14 of 30 from downtown for almost 47%. Phoenix was 15 of 41 for 36.6. And the big discrepancy, like mentioned, was the Pelicans only getting 13 attempts or 13 foul calls for them, and they went 10 of 13 in that. And the crazy part, if the Pelicans would have hit those three, they would have been within one, right? But anyway, 25 of 35, and that's a big discrepancy on the free throws. 35 attempts, they hit 25 of 35, 71.4. That was really awful. 36 to 35 rebound. Pelican did their thing. Assists, Pelicans did win more assists, 27-23, 6-2 for the Suns on the steals, 5-3 on the blocks by the Pelicans. Pelicans had 17 turnovers in this game with 27 points off. That's interesting. And the Phoenix Suns only had 8 turnovers. So you give them the foul calls, plus they're not really turning the ball over, and they get 7 points offset turnovers. Fast break points 7-6. Advantage Suns, and of course points in the paint. Pelicans did toil. Like I said, they toiled in the paint, didn't get the correct amount of calls. 48-34 was the difference in the matchup. And as you can see, Pelicans got hit with 27 fouls in the matchup. Phoenix, that was ridiculous. The largest lead was 24 that the Pelicans had at one time, and it just disintegrated the Pelicans defense, and it just fell apart. All right, so anyway, moving next into the individual statistics, the top man, once again, Zion Williamson, 30 points in 39 minutes. He was 12 of 15 from the field, 6 of 7 from the charity stripe, 0 for 1 from downtown. Finished with 30 points, 9 assists, and 3 rebounds for Zion in the matchup. The second guy was C.J. McCollum, 27 points in 36 minutes, 11 of 19 from the field, 4 of 7 from the 3-point line. 1-1 from the charity stripe, 27 and 8 for CJ. Kind of disappeared a little bit in the second half. And then outside of that, no real other big number production from the Pelicans. Felt like if we had another double-digit score, somebody that would have put up like 15 points or something like that, maybe would have done something. Big V had 5 personal fouls, played 26 minutes, was 12 and 8. I often call if he played 26 minutes or plays 26 minutes, we should get a double-double out of Big V. He was close. He had 5 personal fouls. They called some really bullshit fouls on him, and they get Herb Jones. And this is the thing the NBA do. That's how you know it's a plan, it's a system that they telling these dumbass bastard referees that they always seem to foul up Herb Jones, Valanciunas. These guys always seem to be the ones that they look at and target for the fouls. Larry Nance was also somebody that they threw in there as well. So Larry didn't give us nothing. We'll get to that momentarily, but Big V 12 and 8 on the night in 26 minutes. And 2 8-point scorers right there for the Pelicans. And Trey Murphy, 22 minutes. He was 3 of 8, did hit 2 of 4 from downtown and finished with 8 points, 4 rebounds, a couple of assists. Herb Jones, third game back, 8 points, 32 minutes, 3 of 4 from the field, 2 of 3 from downtown, 8 points, 4 assists, 3 rebounds for Herb Jones. Then off the bench for the second line, you've seen 11 from Najee Marshall in 18 minutes. He played he played all right. 11 points in 18 minutes, 4 rebounds and a couple of assists. 10 points from Jose Alvarado in 15 minutes of action. 4 of 8 from the field, 2 of 4 from downtown. He finished with 10 points, a steal, and a rebound. And of course, you see the rest of the guys there. And Dyson Daniels with 5 points in 23 minutes, 3 points from Graham in 8 minutes, and Larry Nance, no points. Now, if Larry usually does what Larry do, we would have had enough to beat this team. But Larry, in 22 minutes, 8-0. He didn't have a field goal, no 3-pointers. He missed both his free throws. Just not a good game for Larry Nance in this. And then the fouls, he had 4 personal fouls on him in the game, 6 rebounds, and it wasn't a good game for Larry. He's usually solid, but no points productions for Larry Nance in this one. Gave us a little defense there, but no points for Larry in this thing. And the Pelicans go down. And like I said, in the second half is when it all came unglued. Phoenix, top scorer, obviously, was Booker. He carried this team, almost 60 points from him in he was just hitting from all over the place, falling back, hitting shots. I mean, it was ridiculous. And then, of course, Chris Paul tucked in 18 points with 8 assists to go along with him, 15 from Bridges in 37 minutes of action, 11 from Bismack Biyombo. But outside of that, nothing really special. And Josh Okogie came in there, and he was really special insofar as what he did with his rebounds. He got 6 rebounds, got a couple of offensive rebounds in the matchup, 4 of them to be precise, 4 offensive rebounds to give second chance points, second opportunities for the Phoenix Suns to step up and handle their business. And they did just that, man. They seized the advantage and they put the footprint down and the foot on top of the Pelicans and smushed them down. And of course, they then tie up the season series between the Pelicans 2-2. So with that being said, the Pelicans 0-3 on the road. This is just what it is. This is a part of the learning curve that they have to figure out. Now, who's next? The Bucks are next. The Bucks are 21-8, 7-5 away, and the Pelicans are 18-11, 12-3 at home. It is so glaring a difference of what the team is at home versus what they are on the road. It's so glaring. It's going to be really interesting to see Willie Green, see if he can neutralize that or make these two teams the same. They're 2 different teams. Totally 2 different teams. Defensive, the mindset is different. They make a ton of mistakes. They don't play from horn to horn. It's just different on the road. The energy, it's just it's just going to be really interesting to see how he fixed that. But anyway, this is the breakdown. Bucks 21-8, second in the East. The Pels 18-11, second in the West. Bottom line, Orleans will try to keep its 7-game home winning streak alive when the Pelicans take the Bucks. Pelicans have gone 12-3 in home games. They rank 3rd in the NBA with 56.3 points in the paint, led by Zion Williamson. We just don't get the calls. He averaging 19.1. The Bucks are 7-5 on the road. Milwaukee averages 14 turnovers per game and is 7-2 when winning a turnover battle. Top performers, McCollum is averaging 18.2 with almost 6 assists per game. Williamson averaging 22.6 points, 6.2 rebounds while shooting 65.3% over the last 10 games for the Pelicans. Just monster numbers for Zion Williamson. And of course, when you take a look at the matchup that's going to be going on between the seasons, like I made mention of the fact that the Milwaukee Bucks beat the Jazz without Giannis in the game and without Chris Middleton too. So, we had Drew Holiday. He did his thing. And Porter, who was in place of Giannis, did his thing. He led the way against the Jazz, and they come in here smelling like a rose as best. So we know that Giannis right now is listed as day-to-day. So is Middleton. We don't know what's going on with them on that front. And the Pelicans right now show no injured players. So is this a sign that BI comes back for the Buck game? Well, word on the street was that he should be ready sometimes next week. He's been out for a long time. And you can see here the Pelicans injury report shows no injury. So BI could be playing in this game. And we can most certainly use him and get, having him back, with a couple of weeks left in this year and getting him acclimated so we can get ready for when the year turns over and we get into that late January, February ball right before the All-Star break when stuff really start falling the way it's supposed to. We're going to need to get these guys together. So this will be the first matchup between the Bucks and the Pelicans this season. The next matchup won't be until late January of 2023. Giannis is the guy. He leads them in several different statistical categories, including points and rebounds. And Drew Holiday, the former Pelican, 7.4 on the assists in almost 33 minutes per game. Zion is our top scorer with 25.5 on 61 flat percent field goal shooting. And Big V is 9 rebounds per contest. And the CJ, as you can see, is our top assist man with almost 6 over 35 minutes flat per contest. Joe Ingles is listed as out, the shooter, former Jazz player. And Giannis and Chris Middleton, 2 of the big 3 that the Bucks have, is listed as day-to-day. So we don't know exactly what's going to go on. What Giannis or Middleton, we'll just have to wait and see. But like I said, this is a matchup set up for Monday in the Smoothie King Center at 7 p.m. Central Time is the tip-off time. So no injured players on the Pelicans list, which is a positive. So does this mean BI plays against the Bucks? Would love to see it. Absolutely. All right, so let's get into the depth chart right here, dealing with Drew Holiday, Grayson. Like I said, Middleton and Giannis are both listed as day-to-day with Brick Lopez. Bobby Portis, I said Porter. Bobby Portis was the guy that led the Bucks against the Jazz. He had the most points. He felt in for Giannis, had a good game. Pat Connaughton is another guy that could shoot the three-pointer for them. So this is a very experienced team, a well-coached team with Coach Mike Budenholzer. Big. I should say Coach Bud. Let's just Coach Bud. I don't want to jack up the man name. All right, so anyway, but if you look at it, you see George Hill, Pat Connaughton, Bobby Porters, Serge Ibaka's there, Wes Matthews. These are good players. And Coach Bud has them playing really well with 21 wins. And even though this is an East Coast rival, I mean, well, I ain't going to consider them a rival, but it's the East Coast team that we're going after. And Drew Holiday leads this team. We have to be able to play, and I don't doubt that the Pelicans will give the Milwaukee Bucks all they can handle in the Smoothie King Center. They're trying to snatch that or stop that losing streak that they have. And if Giannis is not there, the Pelicans should beat this team. Now, if Giannis is there, it does make it difficult. But if Chris Middleton and both Giannis aren't able to go, the Pelicans should beat them. Now, if both of those guys play and we get BI back, it's going to be a fun game. It's already sold out. So a lot of people anticipating this will be a knockdown, drag-out battle between the Bucks and the Pels. And this is a good measuring gauge, too, because a lot of people see the Bucks as a team that will challenge for the East Conference, the Eastern Conference side of things. So we'll see how that goes on the flip side. But having Drew Holiday back and Giannis, this is a formidable team. We got to take care of the business against this club. As you can see right here, Drew's numbers for this year, 19.25 rebounds, 7.4 on the assists. And Drew Holiday has really grown into the guy for the Bucks and a good complement player to Giannis and the rest of these guys. You can see Grayson Allen, who's a sharpshooter, the former Duke guard, is there. And like we're showing Chris Middleton, he averages 11 points per contest. He's another guy that has improved upon his game, even though a lot of his points productions is down this year for Chris Middleton. But this is a guy that'll provide difficulty shooting the three-pointer and everything right now. As you can see, he's listed as day-to-day. But like I said, if these guys play, it'll be interesting. And then, of course, the star of their team is the Greek freak himself, Giannis, averaging over 30 points per contest, 11 rebounds. As you can see, shooting 53% from the field day-to-day there. So I would like to see these guys, be, healthy and ready to play against a fully stocked Pelican club. You see Brook Lopez. Brook Lopez is having a good season, 14 points a game, 6 rebounds. So even though he can't really move that well, he still gives them good value at the age of 34. So Giannis toils and battles against Brook Lopez. So we should be able to use Giannis in this matchup against the Bucks. So the Pelicans, as you can see right here, they got it as CJ McCollum and Ingram, Herb Jones at the 3, Williamson and Valanciunas. And of course, they're saying 5 days he will be out for at least another week. This was 5 days ago they said that. So and that was from Guillory. So if that's the case, that will put the Pelicans and BI on the same page with him coming back, because the injury report doesn't list him. So we'll see what goes on there, because that'll be a big part of what goes on here. Does Brandon Ingram play in the Bucks matchup? Does Giannis and Middleton play? That's all things that we have to be able to take a look at. See if that happens, then that'll be a positive. So anyway, with that being said, that'll be the end of the broadcast. Listen, appreciate you guys for joining us on the Pelican Postgame Report. Please feel free to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the share button, and by all means, feel free to share the Pelican Postgame Report on your social media feed with the rest of the flock. And listen, fam, a little difficulty here, but every now and again they got the rain, man. Every time and again they got the rain. And even though we've lost three straight after winning several in a row, I think ultimately this will be something that Coach Willie would use to help teach the team. It could be definitely a teaching moment for a young Pelican squad. So with that being said, feel free to hit the description section below, family, and check out the Pel Shops. Go in there and check out the merch. The Grand Theft Alvarado gear is available at the Pel Shop and other Pelican Post Game Report merch. It helps the platform as well. Also, like I said, and I always say, please feel free to hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and the share button. Share the show on your social media feed. And also feel free to hit the bell. Hit the bell and be notified for future content. With that being said, I'm Big Q, and I'm going to holler at you on the flip side, family. Go Pels.
You're listening to the Pelicans post-game report on the PRO Media Network for all things Pelicans.
Check out the Pro Shop. That's right, the Pro Shop is the platform store where you can go and buy all the latest merch to support the platform. Available at the Pro Shops, we have dozens of hundreds of products available for you and your family. Unisex tees for men and women, hoodies and sweatshirts, tank tops, kids and baby items, long sleeve tees, mugs, pillows, wall art, bath bedding, face masks, phone cases, stickers, bags, fanny packs, socks, hats, and many other items. Please feel free to check out the Pro Shops. The link is in the description section below. And remember, it helps the platform continue to grow. Check out the Pro Shop and who that to you. TheWhoThatDaily.com. That's right, TheWhoThatDaily.com. Your one-stop shop for everything New Orleans Saints, New Orleans Pelicans, LSU Tigers, even the top flight boxing. So if you're a Who That and you're looking for a place to stay up on your team, TheWhoThatDaily.com is your site. TheWhoThatDaily.com for the sport Who That and all of it.